what I really want to do, you know. And to start it off, I had to start with something that I understood, which is basketball. And for it to start, you know, it was through a lot of challenges in life, you know, experiences, getting coaching licenses, and just being inspired by other people who had started before me. So this is not the first academy, and I believe it won't be the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, quite often, I mean, what I've seen on social media is people saying, you know what, Forbes Africa Summit or Under 30 Africa Summit or Forbes in Botswana is just vibes. And now we are here, basketball. Are we not really confirming that it's just vibes? Just tell us why, where and how sports meets Forbes.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's not vibes. That's for sure. That's for sure. That's why I'm here. Right now, the sporting industry globally is big. You know, it's a business like any other business, and it's quite one of the biggest businesses out there. And right now, when we're still developing in sports in Africa, so summits like Forbes will help you understand what it is that you're doing in sports and how you can grow it. You know, you before I went to Forbes, I had an idea of what I'm doing with Dirubele, right? But then when I got to Forbes, I realized, wait a minute, there's more you can do, and correlation with tech, with science, and all comes together with sports as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's, I asked you that specifically because we see you as superstars, and we see South African people who have made it in the creative industry. And Forbes is very specific about we are creatives, we are business and tech, we are sport, and we are health and science. I just wanted that to come from you so that people understand that it's the reason why it's this vibe is specifically because of the industries that you speak into, that you talk about. Now let's just talk about you are into sport development, obviously through your academy. You're using your passion. This is your first encounter with Forbes, but it's not your first experience with Forbes because you have tried to be a delegate before. Speak to us about that.
Yes, I've tried to be a delegate the past 2 years. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it. But you know, that doesn't bring me down. You know, then I tried again. I think as the previous events went on, I still watched and learned what people were doing and how to apply and everything. So it's sometimes about experience. The third, you know, 3 times the charm, right? Yeah. So you then now know how to apply, how to articulate yourself during the application process, and you know, to the smallest, well, not the smallest, but the biggest things like financials. You know, those are things you have to add on in your application. So I think this time I got it down to the T, and you know, there was no way they could say no this time.
What was it about the first 2 applications? Because I think this is, like I said, I think this is quite an important conversation. This is the last year of Forbes in Botswana. It's unfortunate, but just to understand that you don't just pick people to go to Forbes. There's a rigorous process that you have to go through. What was it about the first 2 applications that you think perhaps here it wasn't so strong enough or it wasn't convincing enough? And what did you bring then into the third time, like you're saying, it's a charm?
Earlier I'd mentioned, well, not earlier, but before we went live, I'd mentioned being professional, having registered businesses and everything. And the first time I applied for Forbes, you know, I was just, you know, looking for the vibes, as you speak, right? And I hadn't really started anything. And even the way I presented myself was too casual, you know. So this is a business, you know, that you're presenting to CEOs, billionaires even, you know, and, you know, they don't have time for half and half. You know, they want you to really present yourself like, this is what's going to change my life tomorrow. Yeah, so I think this time I made sure that, you know, I articulated myself well, and I shared my vision and my goals and what I want to be in future.
Okay. Yeah. Before the 4 days, how were you running the Rurubele Basketball Academy? Now, upon reflection, I know it's just very soon, but the immediate thing that you think, okay, these are the things that I then either have to do or have to change or have to keep up doing, just from where we were 4 days ago and where we are today.
Yeah. Well, I can start with how I was running it before. Okay. Well, pretty much, I'm a service provider, yes, and teaching a younger age group from 7 to 17 years skills, right? But not just basketball, also social skills. So the aim was to now have an academy running whereby, you know, we have parents paying and bringing in their kids for a certain number of days and hours where we teach all of this, right? And I had started alone in the beginning, right? And as we grew, you know, I ended up having to temporarily employ people. And, you know, that was the point of growth we're at before Forbes started, okay? And now, after Forbes, you then realize that, okay, you're not doing enough. You now have to involve tech, AI, considering making apps, you know what I mean? Encourage more youth who are in sports science to have a hand in what you're doing, because there's a relation, whether it's first aid, whether it's sports medicine, all those things, you know, dietitians and everything like that. So these are things that we're looking at right now in terms of growing this locally, because you only see this outside. We never have anything structured here. It's always, you know, make them run and go home after that. Okay.
Yeah. Now you've spent 4 days with other creatives, other entrepreneurs from across the continent. Your general experience as far as where the young people are, what they're thinking, and their hunger to really accelerate entrepreneurship, accelerate innovation, and contribute towards the growth of the African economy.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, there's hunger, and we're hungry to succeed as the youth of the continent. And mind you, right now, I think we're the continent with the highest number of youth.
1.2 billion, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly, yeah. And that just says a lot already. That just says there's a lot of competition. That says there's a lot of innovation. And that just shows that there's more to come from this continent. In terms of new ideas. And one thing I learned from Forbes these past 4 days was that, you know, it's all about investing in yourself. You know, if you're going to go to someone and ask for help, you need to go with confidence. You know, you need to be sure what you want. And I can guarantee you, all the young Africans that I met from West Africa, North Africa, you know, they came in very strong. And it was a conducive environment. You were there. Once you leave that place, you're more confident than ever to continue what you're doing, because you realize you're on the right track. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Now, basketball, unlike, you know, football, everybody can kick a ball. Yes, yes. People, unlike many other sports, it's not really a popular sport in Botswana. One could say it's a niche sport in Botswana. You've played basketball. You are coaching young children in basketball and other social skills, like you're saying. How do you hope to grow this, turn it into, some people actually even say it's a culture. How do you hope to turn that into a culture, move it from being sort of a niche to really being that big sporting code within the sporting fraternity?
Well, it's definitely the minority still. You know, the culture itself is still growing on to Botswana. Yes, but one thing I can guarantee you is that it has grown. More so in the city. You know, all schools now have basketball. Even schools that don't have basketball, kids are bouncing. And I guess that's because of the influence in social media, the NBA. You know, superstars like LeBron James are now in every kid's phone. You know, so now it's our job as coaches, as, you know, basketball savants, yes, to to now keep spreading the culture, like through academies, you know, through hosting camps and everything like that. And the thing is, the one thing we should always make sure we have is consistency. It's not going to happen overnight, and I'm not expecting it to happen overnight. But the fact that I've started, I've paved the way, the next guy that's coming is going to find it easier, you know, and take it up a higher level. So it's not just about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find that at this particular summit there were others from the sporting fraternity, in particular basketball?
Yes. Not basketball per se, but sports in general. Because I went there a little bit nervous, thinking I'm just the only guy. What is this guy doing here with basketball? You know, when there's Americans and the like. So then I did meet Batswana by Longhori, Badira Sports, and they're there to market themselves. They're there to showcase their businesses, which are centered around sports. One of them is from Propellers. Yes, you know, and that's one of the guys that's motivated me, because he does sports in general, not just basketball. He has different classes, ballet, swimming. Yeah. So then, you know, I realized that, okay, it's not just me, and it kept me going then.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just you in Botswana, but did we find others, perhaps from outside Botswana, and from a sharing perspective, do we have similar challenges? Focusing just on sports, do we have similar challenges? Do we have similar opportunities? What is that world like?
I can't say we have similar opportunities, because, like I said, we're still the minority in the country, and now it's even worse in the region, right? So what you want to do right now is, if you're going to attract the big guys, you have to start within your small communities first, right? We need to start making sure that we have more accredited coaches. We need to start investing in infrastructure. We need to run more consistent youth leagues, you know, because kids don't play enough already in the country. And it's unfortunate right now that we don't have school sports in government schools, right? And that's so difficult. It's only the private school kids that have a chance to play and travel to other schools, but it's still not enough. You know, we need to get our best prospects the opportunity to get scholarships and go outside, you know. So there's still a lot that needs to be done. Yeah.
How are you doing that through the Rubele Basketball Academy?
Yeah. Before I started the academy, these are not bragging rights, but we had kids that we were working with, you know, through our club. And, you know, I also am the head coach of the University of Botswana. So being able to pull out the best young talents from different schools, you know, we're fortunate enough to work with some kids as young as 15 who are currently one of them is currently on scholarship. You know, he's going to kill me for mentioning his name, but Atang Nkwane is one of our beneficiaries of the elite scholarship.
But that's something to be proud of, that you get an elite scholarship.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, he's one kid that I'm proud of, because he's doing so well that side, and, you know, it's motivated others to do it. So now, starting the academy, we want to take kids at a much younger age to prepare them, not just for elite scholarship only, but for others, because you make connections and you meet people, you meet scouts, and there's so many routes to get out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your dream for the Rubele Basketball Academy? And I'm asking you this because I want us to tie it to some of the key lessons or the key takeaways from the summit itself. I want it to tie to perhaps any partnerships, any opportunities that you have unearthed, or you are still scratching as far as the summit is concerned.
The end goal for this academy is, I'll start it off with having our own infrastructure at first. We want to have our own school whereby we can house the best young talents in the country, putting them in a conducive environment, because, you know, some kids are not as fortunate as others, but they're more talented. And we want to give them that space where they can grow mentally and physically as well. Provide education and sports at the same time. And when the time is right, we make sure that we send them out to, you know, the best places out there in the world through scholarship programs and camps, and you know, and just pretty much have a excellent sporting academy. Yeah, you know, where we now are exclusive to the best of the best from Botswana, groomed in Botswana. Yeah.
Any partnerships, collaborations, conversations that sort of got started from the summit, without going into great detail?
Unfortunately, I can't. I can't say that until it's finalized.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, something is in the works, and you know, just stay tuned. I'll be back here soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Baledzi Shagwa. Speaking to us, they do say access to opportunities is what separates one child from the other. He's definitely doing that, providing opportunities to children across Botswana, making sure that they do get the access to play basketball and actually go beyond the borders of Botswana and ply their trade and also study elsewhere. He's really sharing his experience from Forbes Under 30 Africa Summit with us, just telling us that he's learned so much about running a business. It doesn't matter how small it is, you need to get your processes in order, you need to get your paperwork in order. I do hope that we will be speaking to you 2-3 years from today, and you will be speaking to us about how grown you are and speaking to some of the people that you've met and spoken to from the summit. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Up next is the news at 7 o'clock with Benson Putero.